What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the fuckery. So let's start with this 50 Cent shit. Alright, so 50 Cent trolled and insulted a woman who plays on his show Power by the name of Naturi Naughton. Or rather, Naturi Naughton. And I really don't see where this even came from. That's the thing. I think that's a big part of this too. Like, where did this really come from? Like, I guess it was just like, oh, ha ha, joke, joke. And, Naturi was offended, as, rightfully so, understandably so. And he apologized, but then turned around and did it again and posting some photo of her being juxtaposed with Goro from Mortal Kombat, right? But she would be wrong if she juxtaposed a photo of him being compared with Baraka from Mortal Kombat. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Baraka from Mortal Kombat, I'll give you a photo. All right, here you go. All right, this is Baraka from Mortal Kombat right here. And I can show you some more photos too. So, yeah, I think that really that's what she should have done. Really, to keep it all the way 100, I think at this point, clapbacks are necessary. Clapbacks are required at this point. Specifically for, the dark-skinned, brown-skinned sisters who feel like they're being attacked. I think that brown-skinned and dark-skinned women have played nice for long enough. I think it's time to clap back. Particularly when it comes to these, celebrity brown-skinned, dark-skinned black women. But of course, when they clap back, then they're going to be labeled, the angry black woman. Oh, it's just a joke. You can't take a joke. Oh, no, you went too far. Oh, you can't say that. You can't do that. Oh, you're anti-black men. Oh, you're a feminist. Oh, you're a bed wench. Be prepared for all that to come through, right? I'm just warning you now. Because this is where it's coming to. Because this is becoming very routine and very normalized, and pretty much is probably at this point is routine and normalized. And as well, when these situations happen, where are the chocolate knights in shining armor to come and defend and rescue these brown skinned, dark skinned black women? Where are they? Because these brown skinned and dark skinned black women are big upping these brown skinned, dark skinned black men. So where is the reciprocation at? Like, well, for what? Where's the reciprocation at with that? But also, where is the concern and the urgency when it comes to them being in sort of just situations where you just feel like you're not being respected and you're being disrespected and you're not being just valued as a human being, and being undervalued and being devalued. And as well, like 50 Cent, kind of like kind of chill a little bit, 50 Cent, he be that's his thing, I guess, popping his chocolate pussy all over social media, squirting and busting, and just putting all types of pussy juice all over the place. I guess that's what he does on social media, but I don't think it's the best look, because I could probably go into that, but that's another story. But 50 Cent, he acting like he ain't a reject from the Planet of the Apes movie, right? when it was like, oh, let's start some casting up. 50 Cent didn't make it. Or like, King Kong, the remake of King Kong yet again. He could do that. But really, honestly, I think 50 Cent really looks like low key, like a mutated chipmunk. Think about it. Think about it. But yeah, wild ass gorilla breed on the loose, 50 Cent, that's what it is. You know, wild out doing the craziest bullshit on social media, just for no reason in particular. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, it'd be different if like Naturi was just out here wilding out of control, talking all type of shit to people. Then it's like, okay, let's take this chick down a notch or two. Let's take her down a peg or two here. All right. But no, it wasn't like that though. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people are like, sadly, Naturi has been going through this ever since she stepped into the industry, like the entertainment industry, seemingly. Like back when she was with the 3LW days, right? And the bullshit like she went through with the 3LW stuff, right? But like Naturi said, some people just can't handle the chocolate, for some reason. I don't know why. It's like the chocolate, when the chocolate sisters come through, folks get in their feelings, Hell, everybody get in their feelings, especially if you, the fly, brown skinned, dark skinned woman, and you come through in the mix. She be having a lot of folks shaking. Even some of these niggas she got shaken, especially if they dark skin or brown skin themselves. They be shaking. And they be shaking because I think people don't expect for the brown skin and dark skin woman to be in a position where she is like, the it thing, or the it chick, kind of like the confident chick, the good looking chick. It kind of triggers people, I think. Some, not all, but some people, I think it does, especially if you kind of view brown skin and dark skin women in a certain light, or view them as being like, quote unquote, beneath you or something to that effect, then it probably does. And that's just speaking in general. I don't know if this applies to 50 Cent or not. Perhaps, But yeah, just a little bit about Naturi Naughton, or Naughton. I kind of feel like perhaps, maybe, just maybe, a big blessing might be coming Naturi Naughton's way. Perhaps. And all this bullshit that she went through since she stepped into the industry is preparing her for this big break that's going to come. Perhaps she's going to get some crazy breakout movie role that's going to catapult her into the mainstream spotlight. And, she's going to be all over red carpets, attending award events, filming on location in Paris and China and all over the place, right? Just, living her best life and getting all the cool, great opportunities that come along with that. Perhaps, Also, like, Lil' Kim came through yet again for some reason, talking about the same shit and bringing that up, or either someone brought it up and she spoke on it. Either way. So, like, Lil' Kim didn't appreciate Naturi playing her in the Biggie Small biopic from 10 years ago. Again, Lil' Kim is one of those people who are triggered by confident, beautiful, amazing, talented, brown skin, dark skin, black women, because she used to be a brown skin, dark skin, black woman. But she decided to opt out of that. And I think on some level, she may have some regrets. So sometimes it triggers her. And I think since Naturi Naughton was playing her, that may have been a trigger for her because it's like, that's who I used to be. Perhaps maybe that's who I wish I could have been, but I couldn't. That she could have just came through and been unapologetically dark skinned, right? And fly with it. And probably she could have, but she chose a different route. She chose um, to go down the plastic surgery route, the skin bleaching route, this, that, and the third. And the thing is, I feel like, a lot of people clown Little Kim, but I don't really see her going after people who clowning her like that, though. So, yeah, really, she need to have that energy. Well, Biggie is dead, but need to have that energy for Biggie Smalls and the niggas who fuck with her mind, and perhaps even just society in general. But yeah, that it's like, all right, Little Kim is kind of unfortunately, just I don't think she is right in the head, just not quite right in the head. And again, it deals with like self-esteem issues, you know. Um, so yeah. Another thing I want to talk about, is Naturi Naughton back in the 3LW. I'll touch on that for a second. So yeah, she was part of 3LW. There was a whole lot of confusion as to why the group broke up. There wasn't a clear, straight story. Well, there were conflicting stories, I should say, right? Um, and I think colorism was a part of it, as far as the way that Naturi was being treated while she excuse me, while she was in the group 3LW. You know, and I think the one with the teeth and the lisp and the the forehead, the light skinned chick. She Keely. Um, I think she was the one that was really leading that charge. Adrian, being the weak ass following bitch that she was when she was a kid, especially. Not even, well, she was like 18 at that time, so like a young adult, and she was following right behind her and going along with it. And I just find that really funny that, one, Adrian wants to talk about, take low key shots on her shoulder reel at Keely. But I'm like, why are you taking these shots now, though? Because you feel like a dumbass, and you feel like a dumbass for following behind Keely. Because when Naturi left, then Keely started targeting Adrian, right? And Adrian, being the weak ass following bitch that she is or was, she went along with that still. And I think she may have some like unresolved animosity about the situation, and she kind of, in order for her to resolve it in her own way, is just like take these low key shots at Keely. But Adrian and Naturi wind up reuniting on the show The Real, and during that reuniting, Adrian gave this really weak ass apology, something to the effect of, Naturi, if I did anything, to hurt you, I'm sorry. And I'm like, Adrian, you could have kept that bullshit. Like, shit. Like, I can't, like, you can't do anything with that bullshit. That bullshit ass apology. You can't even wipe your ass with that bullshit apology. It's too thin. It's gonna break. Goddamn. And she was told about that apology. Like, a lot of people called her out on that apology. Naturi accepted it. She didn't really try and belabor the point about it. Because she's on to bigger and better things. So yeah, so good things for Naturi. You know, good things to come, especially. Next, I want to talk about this whole Eva Marcel situation on the Housewives of Atlanta. And folks saying she colorist because she calls some black women nappies or something like that. You know, these boy, I tell you, it's always about hair. It's always about hair, right? Like the black men want to call out black women on their hair. The natural hair Nazis want to come through and call black women out on their hair. It's always something about hair for some reason. It always boils down to hair a lot of the times, right? So a lot of people, and you know, particularly a lot of women in their feelings about a comment that Eva said, and it's like I'm kind of split on that part personally. From what I've heard, I don't really watch the show, but on one hand, I'm like, well, you know, you shouldn't be saying like, you know, offensive things. On the other hand, referencing this Naturi Naughton situation and the situation with dark skin and brown skin black women in general, sometimes you just got to hit below the belt. Sometimes you got to take the gloves off and let them know what's up. And I think in this situation, Eva may just be at that point. And she may be like a low-key colorist too. But sometimes you just got to do that. Sometimes you just got to come through, take the gloves off, and let them know what's up. And I think brown skin and dark skinned black women are afraid to do that. And understandably so, because there's so much pushback, right? There's so much shaming. There's so much, you know, not just even the gaslighting, like there's even like verbal violence, right? Physical violence, perhaps even, right? There's a lot of pushback when, you know, the brown skin and dark skin black women stand up for themselves and strike back. But in the case of Eva, you know, I understand, you know, her need to want to strike back and even, you know, hit below the belt perhaps, because, you know, even on here, like I've been in situations when folks are just coming at me saying, you know, very derogatory things, you know, colorist derogatory things about me, right? Like, oh, you know, a fuck with a half breed gotta say, you know, why are you listening to this mutt? You know, very, you know, that's not things you should be saying. But then when I clap back and say, oh, you know, calm down, gorilla breed, fuck what a gorilla breed has to say. Subhumans' opinions are not welcome here, right? Go get shot down by the police, or go let the police, pretty much everyone, you know, conducts target practice on these dudes, right? When I come through and say that shit, then you went too far. Oh, you're anti-black. Oh, you hate dark-skinned brothers. Nigga, I hate you. So I can understand the situation that Eva is in, if that is the situation. I kind of feel like that may low-key be the situation as well. It could be, perhaps. Maybe it isn't. You know, Eva does have a daughter who is considered to be, you know, a coarser hair texture, or perhaps, I don't know, what's the politically correct word? A more, you know, Afro-textured hair texture, maybe. She got 4C hair texture, right? And, you know, I don't think that Eva has any animosity toward her daughter, but I think some people may take offense to it and may give Eva even a bigger side eye, because it's like, well, if this is the problem, then how do you feel about your daughter and her hair texture, right? And, you know, Eva does have a, you know, dating history, you know, that includes Lance Gross, who is a colorist. You know, colorists birds of a feather flock together, right? And then, Kevin McCall, was whooping off in that ass, allegedly from Eva, based on what she's been saying, whooping off in her ass. And, now she found herself, a nice beige daddy, to come to the rescue and, you know, hold her down and be a father to her daughter as well as the kids that they have together. So, you know, is Eva a colorist? Perhaps. Maybe. No. Is Eva fed up and wants to let him know what's up? Perhaps. Maybe. You know. But, this is just something to add to Eva's record. This is just another thing to add to the list, right? The whole black with a Q thing versus black with a K thing, right? That came up during this conversation too. Or, yeah, during this situation too. And, I don't even know what to say about that. But I do think it's like at the same time like a low-key selective outrage at times. And sometimes I think folks just want to be outraged just because they bored in some situations. Like when Nene was coming through calling Claudia Jordan like a half-breed, and then when Nene called LaToya Jackson, Casper the Friendly Ghost, right? I was like, well, okay. And granted, the LaToya Jackson thing happened on a different show and a different network, but still, right? It would have still came up if they were calling out Eva, right? And she has some colorist shit from America's Next Top Model that would be factored into this as well. You feel me? So Eva may be like a low-key colorist. She may not be like a wild ass colorist on the loose, just saying all types of fuck shit and bullshit. But it's like, when you come for her, then she gonna come for your ass in a colorist way though, right? And she may have some colorist leanings herself, perhaps. But you motherfuckers like colorists. You motherfuckers, y'all motherfuckers protect colorists a lot of the times. Depending on who the colorist is, right? And what the fuck they say. When it comes to these dark-skinned niggas, y'all want to cape for these niggas a lot of the times and saying, oh, it's just a preference, right? I'm just saying. And as well, many of you, bitches and hoes out there are colorists. You have colorist leanings your damn self when it comes to your kids. You're treating your kids like goddamn accessories. Goddamn talking about you want your kids to look like, chocolate with these color eyes, this hair texture. You want your kids to be, green eyes with light skin. All this, that, and the third, like you designing a fucking handbag or something. Your child is not a fucking accessory. Your child is your child. Your child is your offspring, your legacy. It's not just a fucking handbag or other accessory that you can put on and take off when convenient and show off to your friends. And quiet as it's kept, they kind of do the same thing when it comes to men, doing the same thing. It's like, well, are you really looking for a good man that's really going to hold you down, treat you right, not cheat on you, provide for you, all that good stuff, and be like a good father, right? Or are you just looking for a nigga that's quote unquote on trend and that you can show off to your friends, families, passerbyers, have, conversations about and whatnot, right? And yeah, that's unfortunately that's just where we at, right? But as I said earlier, it's always about hair. And at this point, I'm like, are we still on hair? I guess so. God dang, if you good hair, you good hair. If you bad hair, you bad hair. If you no hair, no hair. No hair, don't care. God damn. Bit of a sidebar, but Nicki Minaj be tripping me out with her lyrics about nappy-headed hoes and shit. I'm like, only Nicki Minaj can get away with this. Like, what's the one? It's like, oh, like these nappy-headed hoes clean my kitchen good. And then it's like the one where like, oh, these nappy-headed hoes need a Perminator. I'm like, only Nicki Minaj can get away with this. The GOAT. All right. Just for those lyrics, right? But that's the thing, though. When black women are going back and forth with each other, they go for hair. Well, just honestly, in general, when it comes to black women, folks go for black women's hair. But that's kind of what they do. Like, oh, how many rats you got up in that weave? It's unbelievable. Like, like, oh, beady beads, right? Um, it's like that's kind of what people do, I guess, unfortunately, in the black community, especially women. You know, should hair just be off limits? Should we just not talk about folks' hair textures and stuff like that? Just something to think about. It's like, well, where did this standard come from all of a sudden? This shit been going on, and folks have been given in the past. You know. But last but not least, I want to talk about this Monique situation. So, Monique coming through and like she said she gonna get the bag. And she gonna get the bag from Netflix. She gonna be a gazillionaire, y'all. She gonna sue Netflix for every single penny they got. God damn it. And I'm just like, whoa, where did this lawsuit come from? But apparently, Monique, she tried to get the community to support her and other people to support her in this Netflix boycott. By and large, nobody supported that boycott because a lot of people, one, didn't really agree that Monique was discriminated purely based on race and gender bias. And also because a lot of people like Netflix and have Netflix accounts and like to, consume and watch shit on Netflix. Shit. And it's for me, I'm just like, oh, this whole situation just came as a surprise because I thought that Monique had moved on from the situation and was just concentrating on other things. Like perhaps I think she has a residency in Las Vegas, but apparently she's multitasking because she has a residency and she's suing Netflix. Again, I don't know how far this lawsuit is really going to go. And as well, I'm not sure if she's really a quote unquote victim of gender and racial discrimination for pay. Well, for one, she's not an employee of Netflix. They offered her a contract, and she chose to not take the contract, which is her right. But me personally, I never really supported Monique in this situation from Jump Street because, I just know what's up. A lot of black people, they are easily manipulated because you can throw in, oh, it's race, it's about race. And that will trigger black people to support causes that sometimes don't need to be supported. I really think that this cause is really centered around Monique and her getting her bag versus, all black people, in general, getting the bag, quote unquote, right? So, Monique trying to secure her bag and, Monique gonna be a gazillionaire out here because she gonna get some money from Netflix, I guess. But I'm like, okay, Monique got money to sue, but do you have money to pay your taxes on your house? Because from what I heard, the taxes on her house wasn't paid, but maybe she did pay them. I don't know. But that was just, word on the street and whatnot, It's sad to say, but I don't think Monique, I think she is just digging herself into a deeper and deeper hole. You know, I mean, she probably will get work again, but I don't think she's going to be getting up to like a Whoopi Goldberg level or a Viola Davis or a Taraji P. Henson type of level anytime soon. And honestly, very low key, I feel like Lizzo low key stole um, Monique's spot in a low key way. She's like, oh, the go to plus size chick now, right? Monique probably could have been that go to plus size chick. But, she just, I don't know, something happened. And it's such a long story. And I have listened to Monique's podcasts. It's not every single one of them, but many of them. And I do feel like, in a way, Monique was sort of done wrong by, the lot, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry, in a way, because she was not paid enough for the movie. Like they didn't pay her a lot for the Precious movie, and I think she was supposed to get some percentage of the box office from Precious, but I don't think she ever received that money as well. I'm not sure about that. And as well, they wanted her to promote the movie, even though she had fulfilled her contractual obligation to promote the movie, but they wanted her to do more, and they didn't want to pay her for more promo. And yeah. And then Oprah Winfrey, had her family on her show. Yeah, that thing. So, you know, I do think that Monique was done wrong in some situations, but, I don't think that Monique is purely a victim. Um, um, and also, I really think that Monique really truly just needs to forgive Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey. And I think that will allow her to be able to move on and move forward with her life. And I think that to an extent she has, but I think that this situation is still sort of dragging. And this has been, what, 10 years now? This situation. So, yeah. And yeah, so I'm going to end the video there. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.